All right, friends, we're back. That was just a little preview. You're going to get the whole thing later. Don't worry about it.
Ooh, yeah.
All right.
I was
So
just
we'll,
looking that up. Dang, that was some fire. That's gonna be for later. We gotta save some for later. We got some performances lined up, so that's gonna be epic. Well, why don't we try and get through our artist discussion here? And I got some great questions for our artists lined up. So um, right now, I'd like to invite Zbot up on stage, as well as any other artists in our community. I know Gotchi Farmy had have some people who are very involved in that aspect. So any Gotchi Farmy that have been working on some artwork and would like to share, we got Roxiano, NoFuturistic, Anthony. Yeah, Zbot, if you got your hand up, we'll get you up here on stage as well, and we can just have a group conversation around our artistic process, what you guys find interesting. Maybe share some of your story as an artist. We got Phase as well, you're welcome up. Rigo, we got Kontak, we got so many people. You guys are free to come up here. Lev, yeah, I see you as well. Definitely want to get you guys up here and have you share some of your
yeah,
story.
yeah, jump up here, y'all. Gerline spilled water on her computer and had to leave, but she's coming back on her phone in a little while, so she's going to jump up and talk a little bit
Nice.
later.
Yeah, that'd be great. That'd be great. Right on. So we got Lev up here, Roxiano, Zbot. Welcome on stage. We're about to kick off the artist discussion. Contact, we'll get you up here as well. Rigo. I don't know how many people we can fit up here, but we'll try and get up as many as we can. And so, while we're getting people up here, I guess we can start off with the legend himself, Zbot. Welcome on stage, sir. You've done a lot for the Aavegotchi community, and you were an artist before you even got to Aavegotchi, right? So maybe do you want to give people a little insight into your beginnings as an artist, and maybe how you found Aavegotchi? And yeah, maybe you can kick off with that. Or I don't see him on stage anymore. Actually, I think he just disappeared, but.
He was server muted, but I unmuted him. So if he raises his hand again and bring him up.
Oh.
It just was working great.
It's probably from the last summit. We had to server mute because we were in that other room, and
yeah,
that's why we're doing this format this time, people, where we got the live stream running separately. Trying to scream in the room was too much.
Yeah.
Hey there, fam.
Welcome.
GM.
This is crazy, fam.
Yeah, man, this is such a great event. Really highlighting, showcasing, appreciating you guys for doing all this, and it's our way as GMI to give back and highlight all the people that have been doing great artwork. I see PG has his hand up there as well. I believe you are a Gotchi Farmy member doing some artwork. So we can get PG up here, but we starting off with Zbot there. Do you want to maybe just give us a little quick intro? I mean, we all know who Zbot is, but you were an artist before you got started with Aavegotchi. So what were your kind of beginnings? Starting with art in the crypto space, and what are maybe some of your favorite mediums to work with? How do you like making art? So you can have a little discussion around that, and also hear from everyone else as well.
It's really make me feel super humble and overwhelmed to see all this. Really, 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 I love it. And also on New York when we did everything with Gotchi Gang, it's really like priceless. In relation with your question, it's really funny for me, like being called an artist or I don't know. I'm always looking at me more as a creator of whatever I want to manifest into reality in some way. Uh, like really why I enter into crypto space or the art scene. it was basically as a way out of the mainstream stuff, and inspired basically by my mentors and really friends, close friends here locally, that they are the real artists for me. So I really wanted to bridge this past, present with the present, future between the two verses, so we can be all together playing in our favorite playground. Let's say, like, is to play, to create in some way. So this is like really from the heart. This way to say it, because there is another way to say it, like, okay, the 2020 crash came to the world and everything got fucked up, and you know, there is every client in the design industry world that is about also advertising and all that stuff that so everything crashed, and it was like the perfect moment to say, okay, I screw up all the past, all the shit, all that mindset, and let's just simply like jump into the unknown. And Annie asked me what inspired me basically on New York about everything. And my answer was like super, like, you know, the unknown was basically the answer. And I believe that that is where the innovation and the things that haven't come to life are, you know. So if you want to go through whatever you feel, your dream or whatever, just go to the unknown. You know, that fear that you feel is really, I believe, the love of what you want to create in the end, you know, and the journey of the unknown love is basically my few. And of course, family, brothers, the Gotchi gang, all the team, the Giga Brains that is Pixel Craft, and oh, you really gotta be there to you know, I feel like nothing around all this genius. I love it.
Yeah, and you touched on a good point there. You know, like you were in a moment where there was a lot of fear and panic in the markets and stuff, and you weren't focused on that. Instead, you're like, you know what? I'm going to channel my creativity and build my creative confidence in this unknown, which at the time was, I guess, crypto, right? NFT art. And so,
Yeah, and the world in general, I believe, you know, like even having family, kids, and all the stuff, you know, like getting into a moment of what the fuck we are going to do. We are from Latam, Ecuador, everything. You gotta be here to really see this. So it's like, you know, this is crazy. But seeing friends in the crypto space, I came in late 2016. So seeing all the super rare going into the space, all the friends, and being invited at first, and I saying like, I don't know if I want to go in because all these, you know, the same right click save as. So it was like, you know, effects or just I don't know how to really label that kind of, like, that feeling when I first saw all these out of the academy in some way, out of the paradigms around, you know, art, design, creation, point of view about what it is or what it should be, or who is an artist or whatever, all that stuff that really doesn't matter at the end. And this playground was like, okay, this is new, this is free, it's like a playground where you can build whatever you want, so it's up to you, so let's fucking go, you know, like, okay, let's do it, let's start playing around, take the risks, and start like you know, researching about the things you love. And then Pixel Chain came out, and I started playing there, making on-chain stuff. And then, you know, you also the DM of CiderDan, and we started talking there. And it was, oh, this is pure love. This project is awesome. You know, we have more more of the conversation, and it was from the start like, okay, let's do it. You know, this vision has a lot of potential. Everything is unknown. We want to build things that haven't done before, so that's perfect. And it's possible that people may say that it's impossible, so more cool. So let's do it. And yeah,
that's yeah.
Yeah, basically that. And do you hear me?
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And well, after the first piecing all the Aavegotchi, looking at all the community, all you started creating like everything around it. It's really like I don't know, like I love it. It's simply like and see how all of you have been doing your stuff you love to. It's like priceless, really.
You touched on a couple important points there. The one of the ones there was, from your perspective as an artist, it doesn't matter if you're an artist or not. What's more important is creating and actually doing it. Building and creating is more important, and so that's important for all the community members to hear that, because I think there's some people that maybe don't have their like creative confidence yet to fully put themselves out there, but just like you did, you just put yourself out there and go into the unknown is probably like the best way. So I totally
just do it. That's basically do it, grind it, because in time you will see. It's like basically it's an algo. I put everything like in algorithm basically. Like, if you do this and this and this, eventually, if you do it with love, if you are following what you want to do, really, just find what you really want to do, and you see. If you do it every day, like really doing it with love, in time it will become reality, one way or another. It's crazy, really. I have a lot of stuff that I use for myself in this realm of, I don't know, maybe call it Gotchiverse already, the nether, or this unknown space, quantum realm, or whatever. I really live basically like that. Like, if you really want to do it, you will do it. That's basically it. And take the risk and all and everything. Of course, not immediately. It takes time sometimes for somebody is faster than others. So that doesn't matter. The journey is life. So yeah, do it. We are all in this together, and you can feel the energy between everybody, like pushing further to go beyond our own boundaries. So it's beautiful.
I 100% agree with that sentiment. And so speaking towards your kind of specific style, you came into Aavegotchi and started creating a lot of the amazing like pixel work for the Aavegotchis. Is pixel art always something that appealed to you, or were there other types of art forms, like maybe you were like sketching before and then you went to pixel art, or was it just always the pixel art that was really appealing to you? I've seen some of your other work, and it's really incredible. Like outside of Aavegotchi, all the other work that you've created too. So I just wonder, with your art style, have you always been a pixel artist, or before that, was there some other type of art that you were also?
Never before.
Ah,
Yeah, it was basically around the same idea of let's do it all again from scratch, from the pixel. So I start from the pixel. I created the pixel with Roll, the social currency pixel. I have it there like a store hodl. I don't move it, but I start there along with Pixel Chain, along with the crypto art and with a new reality, let's say, right? Like, okay, the old verse is no more. So let's do it everything from scratch, literally, and let's put it on chain. So it was perfect. Let's do pixel chain, on chain, and everything around it. So I just started doing one a day, pixel chain, and doing all the stuff, and I start making like my own lore around Cbot, that creator. So doing all this pixel art, of course, in the idea to take it in time, evolving, to see all the, let's say, all the ways you can see stuff, like from pixel art to 3D as well, or whatever the aesthetics you want. So that's basically, of course, pixel art is on our hearts since, let's say, Nintendo, or, those early video games when we start to see in the screens, like in user interface, these games they were all like pixel art. So that's basically, I believe, some things that got into my heart from early days, but never experienced really as a pixel art. I was doing previously, some years before, like some kind of art using like really straight lines, like making this digital feeling of doing something by hand, doing straight lines, but just like a sketch of stuff. I really was dedicating more into this industry of design and branding and all that stuff. That is cool at some point, but I was trying to figure out what art is or what an artist is, but nothing really makes sense to me. But when I found the on-chain and blockchain, I was like, oh, this has some sense because I will put my time and energy into the code. We are all code, this math, and it will be alive forever. So, and it could be traded and people will create value around it and maybe some royalties. So, it's more sense. It's like, okay, this is the moment that we can store really our time and energy as creators into something that will last beyond us in technology. So that's something that really appeals a lot to me because just imagine doing some stuff, putting your time and energy, and maybe that stuff never is being seen by nobody, or never came to life, or just get lost in time, and this was perfect. Even if I have really super, for me, genius artist friends, brothers that I really like love, and those are my mentors really. Like it was like, okay, I want to feel really this. Okay, I'm creating, and it makes sense for me and my family and all the stuff around it. More than being a creator as an ego, like just for me and for me and for me. I don't like that. I prefer like just do it and it's alive by itself. So this crypto art is in blockchain and on-chain, overall on-chain, like after all, everything, that's basically why I started as a crypto artist. It was the on-chain feeling of storing your time and energy of life to be forever in some way.
Wow. That's deep. That is very deep. Storing, time and energy and creativity on the blockchain, and it has economic value also over time. That's going to be, I think that really does bring out people's artistic side, because there's a way, just kind of like what Master Yang said earlier. It's kind of like a blockchain of culture. Like we have Wanda Gotchi has posted the thing there. It's the blockchain of culture. It's being able to put a stamp in time saying this thing happened and I created it. That's so awesome.
And it's like putting love on chain, because if you love what you do, and love is, we are all love, and it's that drive our own creations, and it's stored in time and energy, blockchain, blah, 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 and all that lore is like, for me, super inspiring. Like, makes sense in some way,
Yeah, 100% hear that. And so, with that being said, thank you for sharing some of your insights. We don't get to have live conversations with you very often. We always see you in the chat, but it's really nice to hear you and feel. I can feel your energy. Even though you're probably quite a distance like away from where I am and where everyone else is, I can feel your energy when you're speaking and the way you talk about it. It's like you're very passionate about this. And using pixels as a medium to convey a message also seems like it's really important. So, yeah, thank you for sharing that.
And I'm sorry for my French in some way.
Oh yeah, I think I can. It's fine. I think that's the beauty of Aavegotchi also, is it's so multicultural, and we all come from different walks of life, but we're coming through and expressing ourselves through this one platform, Aavegotchi. So it's beautiful.
Yeah, beautiful. And just to say to Master Yang that, wow, that was legendary, godlike talk, really beautiful. And also to NyanKong, beautiful to meet him when we were there in Los Angeles. It was beautiful, super. another genius, Gigo Brain, and so fucking cheaper as well. Yeah, beautiful. And well, New York, you know, everybody will go together. I've never felt so much love together in a community and family. So thank you very much.
Oh, it will be a day when we get to meet, my friend. I'm sure it'll be a special day. So hopefully that happens.
Yeah, we should all together. Gotchi Con.
Yeah, exactly. Gotchi Con.
We gotta go color down to go anywhere. He's stuck there in China.
Yeah, Gotchi Con. Well, we have a few other speakers here on stage also, you know, tying in with everything Zbot has been saying. I see PG in the audience. Can we get him up here as well? I believe he's Gotchi Farmy member who you know, has created some significant work. So I'd like to hear from him as well. Um, we have few other peeps here on stage with us, and I'd like to ask you guys to maybe give us a maybe 5 minute or around that. You know, give us a little piece of your personality, what you do with in regarding Aavegotchi art. You know, you can share some of your experience as an artist, and I'd love to hear from you guys. Maybe we can start out with, I know, Roxiano, you've been up on stage here with us for a while. So maybe you can share some of your experience, you know, not only getting into art, but also taking that art and, you know, getting into Aavegotchi and then getting some of your first pieces on chain. Maybe you can share some of your experience around all that.
Yeah, sure. Okay. So, yeah, so art has been like a part of my life for as long as I can remember and even before. So yeah, I've been an artist for my whole life. I didn't touch digital art till around college when I was able to buy my own tools. I started with a Wacom tablet and a small laptop, and then Surface Pro, and then after that, the iPad, which I currently use to make my art. And it's more than just a hobby for me. It's like therapeutic and like woven into my soul, even though that sounds kind of funny, but but yeah, when I don't draw for a while, I get an itch for it and I'm compelled to create. So of course, when I enter any project or community or anything, I always find a way to tie my art into it. I've made webcomics and visual novel games in the past. Some I finished, some I haven't. But what I really want to do is make my art into a career, not just my digital paintings, but like my video creation too, which I'm also really passionate about. And with Aavegotchi, I found a community that welcomed me and recognized me, and I'm so thankful to have done NFT commissions for some of you, and you know, everyone who watches my YouTube channel, and it means a lot to me. And I really hope I can grow these projects from here on out. Like when I first found out about NFTs and what they were doing for other artists, I was like super excited. And then I found Aavegotchi. You know, my dream is to like play games. You know, to like build up investments and stuff. So it was kind of like a dream, and then I enter and I'm making art because yeah, that's what I do. I love art, so that's basically it.
That's so awesome, you know, and kind of ties in with what Zbot was saying is, you know, doing it from the heart, you know, giving it all with love. And it seems like this has been something that always played a part in your life. So it's naturally now manifesting through Aavegotchi, which is really interesting to see.
Yeah, exactly. And I see Hardcore raised a point in the chat saying if you don't create, it will eat you alive and your soul will suffer. I definitely feel that. I feel that. For real. It's in my soul.
That's so cool. That's so awesome to hear. I mean, also, what's your take on fake gotchis then? I'm curious to know, does that fire you up? It must be, you know, it must be really promising to see that get rolled out.
Yeah, for sure. I'm definitely going to get my hands on a few of those fake gotchi cards. It's so exciting. I get to, I really want to contribute, and it's definitely what I've been waiting for.
I think we're all kind of waiting for something a little bit more formal that would allow us to, stamp our name in the Aavegotchi culture. And so the fake Gotchi cards are going to be a great way to do that. Yeah, thanks for sharing a little bit of your journey. I guess naturally I'll reach out to one of the other stage members here. We have Rigo, who has also done an incredible amount of work for Aavegotchi regarding your starting with your Aavegotchi self portraits, which were a huge success on OpenSea. I think it was, well, you can give me the details on the collection, but it was a number of one-of-ones. I think some are still available, but I think almost all of the main Gotchi gang members we all know and love, they all have one. And, that just speaks to, your fan base, your growing fan base. But maybe you want to touch on your journey as an artist. I know it was interesting. Kind of you actually are a case for Aavegotchi because you came into Aavegotchi without a Gotchi. And what you did is, Aavegotchi self-portraits was your way of contributing to Aavegotchi. And then what happened is everyone went nuts over the ASPs, and that money was used to fund your first Aavegotchi, right?
Yeah, that's exactly it. I got into this community and I started and I was like, man, I got to figure out how I'm going to do this. I was able to get a humble parcel. And as soon as I pulled that off, I was like, this is not going to be enough. I gotta figure out how I'm going to do more. And I couldn't, I just couldn't manage it, without getting some additional income. So I spent some time looking around, and I'm not an artist by trade. I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do when I grow up. I've been a teacher. I've been a pilot. I've been, I studied to be a lawyer for a little while. I've done a lot of different things, and I still don't exactly know what I want to do when I grow up. And lately, I've been really getting into writing, and I've been really getting into to making art. And when I saw the opportunity here, there are a lot of people who are really, really passionate about, about Aavegotchi. And I saw a really good niche here, a really good opportunity to create some very, very cool art. Somebody said it earlier, like Aavegotchis are, they're essentially like a blank canvas. You can really project yourself and a lot of personality onto this, this ghost. And of course, they've got a little bit of personality built in, but they are, they're more or less a blank canvas for your personality. It's really, really cool. So I saw this opportunity, and there are 200 self-portraits in the collection that I ended up creating. And I think there are about 50 of those left. So it's sold out by three quarters of that are sold out. And I was overwhelmed with the community's response to that. And I did end up being able to use the proceeds from that to buy a Gotchi and a parcel, which I've been really, really just feeling very blessed and, very lucky to be able to do that. Not everybody has the ability to, to make something and turn around and accomplish their goals. And that's exactly what happened to me. Like, I set out with the intention of getting a Gotchi, and because this community is so passionate about Aavegotchi, and because they love the way that the aesthetic of Aavegotchi and everything, that made it possible for me to acquire one, which I was just so thrilled about.
And I think you represent another way into our ecosystem with the new fake Gotchi cards. Like these fake Gotchi cards, we talk about the artist and the patron. The artist might not be the card holder. It might be partnering with one of the card holders to mint a collection, and then maybe the profits from the collection are enough to bankroll buying some assets in the game. Like, that's what a cool loop that is. Starting out with creating something and then getting your asset in the game. I thought that was really interesting when I heard your story.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a really good insight.
And so, that's one of the things I see. That's one of the roles I see art playing in the metaverse, is almost like this like another store of value. Like we'll maybe hopefully see, you know, and maybe this is something I was going to bring up with Yang, but we went through so many other things. You know, I think that was more than enough. But one of the things I was going to talk about is the idea of having the art as a store of value. And so we already have other stores of value in our ecosystem. There's wearables, gotchis, land. I'm curious to know how the art is going to get valued based on that. You know, besides the ghost value, you know, how many parcels were traded for X art piece?
Yeah,
You
you know
know?
what I mean. That's absolutely something I've done. You know, I don't want to name any names, but one of the parcels that I acquired, I've got 3 now actually, which I'm really happy about. I've got a humble, reasonable, and a spacious. And the reasonable that I have, I actually traded it with someone in GMI for. I traded a number of Aavegotchi self portraits. No, wait. Anyway, I traded some art for the actual parcel, which, you know, was just a great way to get into that.
Yeah, art holds a significant value, and then so, you know, with getting into this style of art, you know, without giving away your style, what sort of mediums of art? Because it looks very interesting when you first look at it. You're like, how was this like created? And then you made 200 of them, so I'm like, you know, each one has its own little personality. Do you want to touch on like your kind of art style? You know, like are you like hand drawing these, or is this like all done through computer work? Like, do you want to give some context? It's up
Yeah,
to you. Yeah.
great question. So these are all generated using a few different tools together, but primarily they're using AI image generation, and then of course afterward I take them, and a lot of times I'm splicing multiple images together and then taking it back to the AI generator and taking that image and generating it in addition on top of that. So it's usually multiple iterations between an AI image generator and then Photoshop, and then, you know, going back and forth with that. But yeah, there are a number of really, really cool image generation tools that are out there, and as I've been doing this, my sort of arsenal of tools has been growing. Definitely, if this is something you are interested in, it's definitely worth looking into. I'm not going to name all the tools here, but hit me up if you're interested in learning more about that. I know I already have a few of these out here that I have to follow up on, but if anybody wants to know more about image generation, send me a DM. And yes, Mike Kelly, I could definitely make that work.
Dang, yeah. I mean, I find the way you describe your process, it's very methodical, and it's you know, there's a due diligence you have to do with like each work. But there's also like this randomness aspect that comes from the AI. You know, don't you find it's kind of interesting sometimes with the outputs that you get, or sometimes something you wouldn't totally not expect, right?
100%. A lot of times, you know, I mean, one of the reasons I got into image generation like this is because it all starts with text. And I am not great with pen and paper, but I think, you know, not to toot my own horn, I feel like I'm pretty good with, you know, with a keyboard. I'm fairly good at wordsmithing. And a lot of times I will put together, you know, a fairly complicated prompt to come up with this, you know, to come up with these images, get them generating, that kind of thing. And I'll have something very, very specific in mind. And I'll hit the button, generate it, and then, you know, come back in 15 minutes or whatever and take a look. And it's, you know, the output is completely different than what I had in mind, but also really, really cool. And you know, just a very different direction from what I had in mind originally. And so I will often take that and either tweak the image that came out or tweak the prompt. And you know, that's how a lot of the original Aavegotchi self portraits I made came out. You know, they started out with prompts that were not intended to come out that way, and they sort of took on a life of their own just because the AI interpreted my prompt a little bit differently than I intended it to.
It's really cool, and I'm gonna look forward to seeing more of your like work, because each release that you do has its own kind of its own vibe. You know, like the I can't remember what they're called. The houses, the Gotchi.
The Daydream Homes.
Yeah, exactly. The Daydream Homes. Those are incredible. Like, the way they came out. And I feel like some of your ASPs, the self portraits, could find like they match up really well with some of those. So it could almost be like a set. It's really cool.
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely feel like some of those match up quite nicely. And you could see a lot of that. Sometimes the styles of the art match up as well. In addition to the the theme itself of the art and it. I don't know words.
Yeah, no, I mean, I have an appreciation for your style, and it comes down to your eyeballs, right? What you're seeing has to look like your style, and the AI is going to serve up things, and a lot of the time that's probably not what you're looking for, but then you're curating from that and then modifying it. It's really interesting hearing about your process.
Thank you. Yeah, I think from the original 200 Aavegotchi self-portraits, I probably made about 1,000 of them and had to dump about 800 because they just weren't, they weren't good enough, or they were completely unrecognizable, or that kind of thing. So it definitely comes down to having an eye to see it as well.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I mean, thanks for sharing that with us. Is there anything else that you'd like to touch on regarding your journey as an artist? Maybe some aspirations, if you have any. Moving forward with fake gotchis. What's your reaction with the whole fake gotchi release now?
Excited to see what fake Gotchi has. I feel like I have to figure out how to get more cards like now. Even though there aren't any out yet, because I don't. One card is going to make one NFT. Up to 200 times, and I don't feel like that's enough for my my creative expression. So we'll see how that goes. But I mean, honestly, like, I wouldn't be here if it weren't for GMI. I'm so excited about this community, and GMI and the Aavegotchi community as a whole is just fantastic. There's so much support and so much excitement. It's really just, if there are any artists out there that are not already part of GMI, like, you should get in here now. And even if you're not creating anything, just DM somebody and we will figure something out. Like, if you have any sort of artistic inkling at all, like, send us a message and we'll figure something out.
That's a great shout out, sir. I really do appreciate that.
Yeah, that's the truth. No, I agree with you there too. It's like, you're right. There is definitely a rarity with the fake gotchis, and it's going to be interesting to see how GMI plays into that, as, having our own contract and being kind of the OGs pre-fake gotchi art,
Yeah, that's going to be real interesting.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm excited to give back, sort of. I've been waiting for some sort of utility, whether it's like through trade, to give back to those who believe in my OpenSea project and who've supported me and commissioned my artwork and stuff. So that's another thing that the fake gotchi thing will help me do.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I think we should try and get some of our other peeps here. I want to hear from them as well. We got Kontak up here. Kontak, you've made some POAPs for GMI. You've also did the badge for the Guild Summit, and in addition to that, I'm sure you've shown us your creative side, your artistic side, and so I kind of want to know a little bit more about you in terms of like your art, as an artist, and maybe your aspirations for fake gotchi.
Yeah, for sure. Can you guys hear me all right?
Oh yeah.
Alrighty. So yeah, hi guys. My name is Kontak. I'm a photographer, filmmaker, digital artist based out of Buffalo, New York. I graduated from Canisius College in 2019, and that's kind of where I started getting into art. I got my first mirrorless camera, got my first Wacom tablet, and started creating. Right after college, I found work. I was working as a video editor for a full-service ad agency, And now I've been minting my own artwork, digital art and photography on my own smart contract. I will drop a link. Give me 1 second.
Ooh, very cool.
But yeah, and my smart contract, I mint my photography and digital art. I've also got ideas for some GIFs and videos. But beyond that, I've made some Aavegotchi art for GMI. I've made some of the POAPs. We're making some for this one, so definitely be sure to fill out that type form. Got some cool stuff for you guys. And yeah, my art is on chain, OpenSea, looks rare, Coinbase NFT, and it's just a collection of my creations. And I'll continue adding more as I grow, make more and evolve as an artist. One more thing I wanted to shout out. Back when I was in college, I also made a documentary film. It is called Love Conquers Fear, and it's about a local youth boxing program here in Buffalo, New York. The gym is called Casey's Fitness, and it weaves life lessons into the boxing program. And very cool, the film actually aired on local PBS here in Buffalo, New York a couple times. So I also have a link to that if you're interested. Definitely check that out.
Drop it. Yeah, for sure. So you said in terms of photography, that's going to be another thing I've been wondering. I know in the future you do some photography, and we have some other folks that do photography. It's going to be interesting to see what your guys' renditions of an Aavegotchi with photography, like what does that look like in your mind? I'm curious to know. What does like Aavegotchi and photography maybe look like?
Well, for me, my plan was, because I have a healthy dose of awesome stickers you see here on the mic that I have. So placing them in cool places and then taking, dope like pictures with really cool depth to kind of make them pop. So that's been my thought. The only reason I haven't done it yet is these stickers are very shiny. So I want to get something that's not shiny so I can like angle. Sometimes I'll set up the perfect angle, but the shininess sticker throws it off. So unless I bring flags and make this a whole production, it's better to just make some not shiny stickers and then put gotchis in weird places, like on telephone poles at the top, or like, on the railroad crossing, or, stuff like that.
Sticker tagging is cool. I've definitely wanted to get into stuff like that. And for Aavegotchi, I'm thinking kind of more abstract things for photography. Maybe not, hyper realistic portraits or what you might call it, but even maybe like just aspect pictures of some gotchi grass or green or purple grass, or even maybe like little macro shots where you maybe make your own little Aavegotchi figurines or something like that, set something up and then do some cool macro work. That would be fun.
Oh yeah, that would be really interesting. And doing the sticker shots kind of reminds me of Drifter Shoots, if you guys know who that is. Like Where My Vans Go and stuff.
Yes.
That's what that kind of reminds me of. And so like that would be really cool to see. Like
where my gotchis go.
Yeah, where my gotchis go. That's so cool. Yeah, I mean, lots of ideas around that. And so I'm not a photographer. I don't have any experience in that. But looking at what you guys are doing it gets me curious, man. I definitely think about that.
Yeah, hoping to get my hands on some of those fake gotchi cards for sure.
Yeah, 100%. Very cool. Thanks for sharing that. Thanks for sharing your page. I'm going to be checking out some of those works that you've done with photography. And looking forward to more of your badges and other like Aavegotchi contributions.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm always going to be making new stuff at my smart contract. Stuff will be there constantly updating. And same with, GMI and POAPs. I'll be making more Aavegotchi themed stuff too. So I'm looking forward to it.
Man, that's awesome. Thanks. We got some more peeps up here, guys. So we're gonna go through the peeps up on stage here. I see PG's hand up there, friend. I've tried to get you up here. I haven't had any success though trying to get you up. So if one of the Aavegotchi Summit staff, the GMI Summit staff, could try and get PG up here, it's either that or you have to click on the notification.
He's having some issues. If PG, if you're hearing me, I would want you to literally jump out of the server and come back in here, and we'll reinvite you, and it should work out.
Perfect.